Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're breaking down the most in-demand tech jobs for 2025. If you're trying to find your path in the tech world, which can be super confusing, you should consider this your roadmap.
You've probably felt this, right? The tech world is absolutely booming, but you hear all these job titles, DevOps, data scientist, full-stack engineer, and it can feel like you're trying to navigate a maze. Our goal today is to cut through all that confusion and give you a really clear guide so you can see where you might fit in.
So why is all this happening right now? Well, it really boils down to three massive forces. First, pretty much every company, from your local coffee shop to a huge global bank, is becoming a tech business. Second, you've got automation and AI, which are creating this huge need for people who can actually build and manage these intelligent systems. And third, as everything gets bigger and bigger, we need experts to keep it all running safely and efficiently. These three trends, they're the engine behind every single job we're about to talk about.
All right, let's start with our first group, what I like to call the builders and architects. These are the folks who are literally constructing the digital world that we interact with every single day.
At the very core of this group, you have the software engineer. Seriously, think of them as the primary builders. They're the ones writing the code that makes your favorite app work, that runs a company's website, and that powers all those complex systems behind the scenes. They are truly the foundation of almost everything digital.
And working right alongside the engineers, you have the UX/UI designers. Now, if engineers build the structure, the designers are the architects who make it human-friendly. They obsess over the user's journey, making sure an app isn't just functional, but that it's also beautiful, intuitive, and, just a pleasure to use. This is such a great way to think about their partnership. It's a perfect analogy, really. The software engineer builds the car's engine and its frame, the parts that actually make it go. But the UX/UI designer, they craft the dashboard, the seats, the steering wheel, everything that makes the car usable and enjoyable for the driver. You absolutely 100% need both.
And these are the tools of their trade. For engineers, you're going to see programming languages like Python and JavaScript and frameworks like React. For designers, it's all about creative software like Figma and Sketch.
Okay, let's move on to our second group, the data decipherers. With so much information being created every single second, we desperately need experts who can turn all of that noise into meaningful signals.
This table lays out the three key roles perfectly. So first up, the data engineer builds the plumbing, the pipelines that collect and organize all the data. Then, the data analyst steps in to examine that data and find past trends. And finally, the data scientist uses all that information to build models that can actually predict the future. They all work together in this amazing chain of value.
And a super specialized and just exploding role within this group is the AI/machine learning engineer. These are the people who train the intelligent systems we use every day. Like the Netflix algorithm that suggests your next binge watch, or the chatbot that helps you out with customer service. They are literally teaching computers how to think.
And to do all this, they rely on a really powerful toolkit. Languages like Python and SQL are absolutely essential for wrangling data. Tools like Tableau help them visualize it. And then you have these advanced frameworks like TensorFlow that are used to build those sophisticated AI models.
Okay, next up we have the guardians and maintainers. This group is so critical. They're the ones who make sure that all the amazing things that the builders and the data teams create are reliable, secure, and available to you 24/7. Gone are the days of companies owning these massive, dusty server rooms. Now it's all about the cloud. And cloud and DevOps engineers, they're the masters of this whole domain. They manage this vast, scalable infrastructure on platforms like Amazon Web Services, and they automate the entire process of getting software from a developer's laptop all the way to you, the user. And of course, as everything moves online, the threats just multiply. And that's where cybersecurity professionals come in. They are the digital defenders on the front lines, protecting companies from hackers and data breaches by always trying to stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
And we can't forget the IT and network engineers. These are the folks who manage the fundamental backbone of everything: the servers, the routers, the Wi-Fi, all the hardware and connections that allow information to flow. Let's be honest, without them, nothing else works.
For this group, the skills are very specific. They need deep expertise in cloud platforms, in automation tools like Kubernetes, cybersecurity techniques like penetration testing, and of course, core networking technologies. Okay, let's move on to our final group, the visionaries and pioneers. These roles are a little less about the hands-on building
and more about setting the direction for where technology is going and exploring what's coming up next.
This quote just perfectly captures the role of a product manager. They literally stand at the intersection of what's possible with technology, what's valuable for the business, and what users actually need. They're like the conductor of the orchestra, making sure everyone is playing the same tune to create a truly successful product.
Now, this group also includes explorers on the absolute cutting edge. We're talking about blockchain developers who are completely reimagining systems for finance and security, or quantum computing engineers who are tackling problems that were once impossible by creating entirely new forms of computation. It's pretty wild stuff.
And as you might guess, the skills for this group are quite different. For product managers, it's all about soft skills like leadership and communication. But for the pioneers in blockchain and quantum, it's about deep, specialized knowledge in fields like cryptography and advanced physics.
So, after seeing all these different roles, we come all the way back to the main question. Where do you fit in? Let's try to map your interest to some of these paths.
Here's a great way to think about it. If you just love pure logic and building things from scratch, you should definitely look at the builder roles. If you're fascinated by finding hidden patterns and making predictions, then the data path is for sure for you. If you get a real sense of satisfaction from keeping complex systems running smoothly and securely, check out the guardian roles. And if you're a big picture, strategic thinker, then the visionary path might just be your calling.
And honestly, this right here is the key takeaway. Choosing a career in tech isn't just about picking a job title that has a good salary. It's about finding the type of problem that actually excites you, a problem that you want to dedicate your mind to solving, whether that's building beautiful experiences, uncovering hidden truths in data, defending our digital worlds, or charting the course for the future. The real question is, which problem will you choose?